Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of chapter 4 Web Technology. The contents to be described are web designing, what are the two different types of web pages, what is meant by scripts, what are the different types of scripting languages, what is meant by cascading style sheets. We can have a look at what is meant by web design. Before starting to develop a website or a web page, we have to plan the page, what all contents are to be included, what all links are to be included. We can make use of any text editor to develop a web page. The text editor like Notepad, integrated development environment like Genie, Bluefish, Adobe Dreamweaver, Bootstrap, Microsoft Expression Web. These are the popular web designing softwares. We can have a look at what is meant by static and dynamic web pages. Usually we will visit some web pages or websites of small business organizations, school websites. The contents of that web pages remain the same all the time whenever you visit it. These web pages that remain the same all the time until their code is changed manually by the developer. Initially, web pages were created with HTML only, and such web pages are called static web pages. Later, the emergence of scripting languages like JavaScript, VBScript came, and they brought animations to the web page. The color and style of a portion of the web page changes when the mouse moves over it. So such web pages are static web pages. Some web pages that contain server-side code which creates a web page each time it is accessed, like the web pages of your department portal such as DHSC, your result Kerala results nic.in. Such websites will display the results, uh, will display your marked results whenever you put the register number on the column. So the content of the web pages are also changed with different register numbers. These are called dynamic web pages. That means some server-side scripting or server-side application program is running on part of dynamic web pages. There is a backend database where the browser requests for a particular web page to the corresponding database, and the database gets back the result to the browser. So we can see the difference between the static and dynamic web pages. Static web pages have the following features like the content and layout is fixed. It never uses databases. It runs on the web browser. No need of any server-side application program, and very easy to develop. In the case of dynamic web page, the content and layout may change during runtime. Database is used, runs on the server side and display the result, and needs programming skills to develop. What are scripts? Scripts are small program codes written inside HTML pages. In an HTML page, a script is written inside script tags. Suppose you have written script type equal to text / JavaScript within quotation. It indicates that it is a JavaScript code is inserted in HTML code. What are the various types of scripting languages? Let us imagine a login page of a website in the internet. We have to provide the username and the password. If you are not providing the username and password, then try to log in. The site will say you have not included the username. Just only a validation is taking place in that case. Let us consider another case. You have given username and password and login button is clicked, but you have typed your wrong username and a password, and the site says that uh, the username and password does not match. That means in that case, a server side application and a database is there. It checks the encrypted username and password and checks your credentials and then give the results back. So there are two types of scripting languages: client side scripting and server side scripting. We can look at the differences between these two. Thus, in the case of client side scripting, script is executed in the browser, whereas in the case of server side scripting, the script remains in the web server. Client side scripting is used for validation at the client, whereas server side script is executed in the server and the requested web page is returned to the browser. The server side scripting used to connect databases, whereas client side scripting does not use databases. Client side scripting can block the running of the script, whereas server side scripting cannot be blocked by the user. Client side scripting depends on the type and version of the browser, whereas in the case of server side scripting, it does not depend on the features of browser. What are the various types of scripting languages? It's a very important question from your examination point of view. JavaScript, VBScript, PHP, ASP, and JSP. Among these, JavaScript and VBScript are client-side scripting languages, whereas PHP, ASP, JSP are server-side scripting languages. JavaScript is a client-side scripting language used to develop interactive web pages. It is developed by Brendan Eich. Any JavaScript file with the extension .js, it is used for client-side validation, simple calculations, and animations. When asynchronous JavaScript extensible markup language is implemented on the website, the advantage is that it does not require entire page to be reloaded for displaying dynamic content on web pages. VBScript is developed by Microsoft Corporation. It is based on the programming language Visual Basic. It is popular for server-side scripting with the introduction of .NET Framework. PHP is another server-side scripting language. The full form is Hypertext Preprocessor. It is a server-side scripting language, open source, free, easy to use, and the PHP interpreter is available for all operating systems. Linux uses LAMP server software, Windows operating systems use WAMP, and HOS platforms use SAMP. LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. WAMP server stands for Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. SAMP means HOS, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So PHP usually uses MySQL as the backend database. Active Server Pages is a server-side scripting language. It is used to create interactive web applications. The files are saved with extension .isp, compiled using Microsoft Internet Information Server. Java Server Pages is a server-side scripting language developed by Sun Microsystems. Files are saved with extension .jsp. To run Java Server Pages, Apache Tomcat Web Server is required. Cascading Style Sheet is another language used for describing the formatting of a document written in HTML. Using CSS, we can control the color of the text, font style, paragraph spacing, border and its colors, background images, as well as a variety of other effects in a web page. A CSS file allows us to separate HTML content from its style. That means the formatting content can be separated from the HTML content. So we can reuse the same code for all the web pages. We can reduce the page loading time, etc. are the advantages of using cascading style sheet. CSS can be implemented in three different ways: inline, embedded, and linked. It's a very important question. In inline, the CSS style is applied to each tag separately, and it is given in the body part of the web page. Any HTML document has two parts, head section and a body section. So CSS style can be applied to each tag using style attribute in the body part. Embedded CSS means placed within the head section of the HTML page. Linked CSS means the style contents are written as a separate file with extension .css and it is linked with the web page. All these are about the second part of chapter 4, web technology. Thank you.